We now proceed to our next witness. Next resource person. I stand corrected again. May we know the justice members who wish to raise clarificatory questions to PSA?
Madam Chair.
The Honorable Jude Asidre.
Madam Chair, with your indulgence, nais ko pong magtanong sa kinatawan ng Philippine Statistics Authority. Una, Deputy National Statistician Maris Grande, para manilaw lang ho sa record ng committee ito, kinukumpirma niyo po ba na kayo ay otorisadong kinatawan ng Philippine Statistics Authority at may sapat na kaalaman sa mga certification na ipinadala ng PSA sa committee ito?
Yes, Madam Chair. I represent Dr. Dennis S. Mapa. I am Marisa Grande, the Assistant National Statistician of the Civil Registration Service, and I am in charge in the verification of civil registry documents and the processing and archiving, as well as generation of vital statistics.
Ma'am Maris, hiniling po ng committee ito na dalhin at isumiti ninyo ang mga kopya ng certification na may petsang December 8, 2024 at December 11, 2024. Nais ko pong malaman kung dala po ninyo ang mga dokumentong ito at naisumiti niyo na po ba ito sa committee?
Yes, for Your Honor, na dala namin itong mga certification na ito, December 8 and December 11, at nasubmit na po ito sa Committee Secretariat.
Madam Chair, para lang humalinaw, ang dalawang certification pong ito ay opisyal na dokumento ng Philippine Statistics Authority.
Tama po, sir.
At ang mga certification na ito ay nagsasaad na pagkatapos ng paghahanap ng records ng PSA, marami sa mga pangalang isinumite ng kapulungan ito ay walang matagpuan ng any record ng kapanganakan, kasal at kamatayan. Tama po ba?
Tama po, sir. Nakareceive po kami ng list of individuals for verification po sa PSA at narito po sa certification na ito ang laman ng resulta base sa information na pinrovide ng committee po.
Madam Chair, doon po sa unang certification na may petsang December 8, 2024, tama po ba na sa kabuang 677 na pangalan na isinumite, 405 ang walang record ng kapanganakan o certificate of live birth, 507 ang walang record ng kamatayan o certificate of death, at 443 ang walang record ng kasal o certificate of marriage, at sa kabuuan 398 unique persons ang walang matagpo ang record ng kapanganakan, kasal at kamatayan ayon sa records ng PSA. Tama po ba?
Tama po, Madam Chair, at kinukonfirma po namin base po sa certification dated December 8 po.
Madam Chair, doon po sa pangalawang certification na may petsang December 11, 2024, tama po ba na sa kabuang 1,922 na pangalan na isinumite, 1,322 ang walang record ng kapanganakan o certificate of live birth, 1,593 ang walang record ng kamatayan o certificate of death, 1,456 ang walang record ng kasal o certificate of marriage, at sa kabuang 1,287 unique persons ang walang matagpo ang record ng kapanganakan, kasal o kamatayan ayon sa records ng PSA.
Tama po, Your Honor. Base sa December 11 na inisyu ng PSA, ay yung mga datos po na yan ang resulta ng aming verification sa birth, marriage, and death po.
Madam Chair, Ma'am Maris, no, sa harap ng committee ito, pinapatunayan niyo po ba under oath na ang mga certification na ito ay tama, sapat at batay sa opisyal na records ng Philippine Statistics Authority?
Yes po, Your Honor. Based po ito sa listahan ng mga pangalan na sinumite ng committee.
Ulitin ko po for the record, Madam Chair, tama po ba na ayon sa Sabalya complaint sa paragraph 67, walang anumang record ng kapanganakan, kasal at kamatayan sa PSA para sa mga pangalang Mary Grace Piatos, Milky Sequoia, Kokoy Villamin at Irene Tan, bukod pa sa iba pang mga pangalang nakasal sa nasabing reklamo? Tama po ba?
Doon po sa binanggit niyong pangalan, Your Honor, yung lahat po yun ay walang record ng birth, marriage, or death, except po doon sa isa, yung kay Irene Tan, which is a common name po ito, at based po sa verification namin, may match na records ng 144 na Colby, 89 na certificate of marriage, 16 na certificate of death. So yung Irene Tan po kasi ay common and wala pong ibang basehan na sa verification. Kaya may matches po tayo na nakuha. Pero yung mga binanggit niyo pong pangalan po ay lahat po yun ay negative record ang kanilang
So
birth.
negative record po for Mary Grace Piatos, Milky Sikuya at Kokoy Villamin. Tama po ba?
Tama po, sir.
At tama po ba na itong mga detalyeng ito, lalo na tungkol dun sa mga pangalang aking sinabi, ay nakapaloob sa mga certification na dinala at sinabit po ninyo sa committee ito?
We confirm po, Your Honor, at makikita po ito both sa certification ng dated December 8 and December 11 po.
That is all, Madam Chair.
Can we flash again the certification for the satisfaction of the justice members? Kindly flash the certification. How many pages is this? Ms. Mapa?
Napakarami po, sir. Yun pong 677 na information po ay 677, ito po ay 134 pages. Yun pong, sorry po. Dahil makapal po ito, Your Honor. So yung isa po sa 1,992 na individuals dated December 11, meron po tayong 389 pages po.
That 389 pages pertain to the result of your verification.
Dalawa po ito, Madam Chair. As I've mentioned, yung 677, isang batch po dated December 8. At meron po tayong 134 na pages. And the other one, yung 1,992, meron po tayong 389 pages po.
Okay. Again, the committee secretariat is directed to provide copy of the report of the PSA to the justice members, including the ex officio, and also the respondent vice president. Any other member who wish to raise clarificatory questions to
Chair.
PSA?
Chair.
The Honorable Tino.
Yes, that is included in the annex, the 389 pages, a list of names with findings that records do not exist. Pero napansin ko po, interspersed are some names that have been, what do you call that, blacked out. PSA po ba ang gumawa nun?
Ms. Mapa, please answer.
Ito pong certification na to ay inisyu po ng PSA based po sa ibinigay ng committee na i-verify based sa listahan ng committee on yung sa 19th Congress kay Honorable Joel Chua, yung Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability po. So may listahan po na nanggaling sa kanila at lahat po yun binirify namin kung may existing na birth, marriage, or death records.
Yeah, so that document was issued by the PSA, but there are redactions. So I just wanted to clarify if the redactions were made by the PSA or by someone else, some other entity.
Sir, the one submitted po ay warang redaction po.
Okay, so hindi kayo ang gumawa?
I suppose the secretariat po yung nag-redact.
Which secretariat? The committee secretariat?
Sorry sir, just to clarify that the one issued, wala po kaming redaction kasi
Wala
listahan
nila.
po ng mga pangalan at resulta ng aming
Okay.
verification.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, I wish to apologize to Ms. Grande. It's Ms. Grande, not Ms. Mapa. Okay? Any
Chair.
other member who wish to raise question?
Madam Chair,
The Honorable Abante.
isang tanong lang, no? Kung wala kayong record, ibig sabihin, imposibleng malaman kung sino yung mga yan? O meron tayong isa pang pwedeng puntahan na malalaman natin?
I have to be frank, sir, that the verification result is based lang po sa names. So, that's why dun sa certification na inisyu namin, we stated that based on the information provided by the committee, and that if they can provide further data, we can further evaluate the result po.
Pero na-exhaust nyo na, di ba?
Exhausted
You have
based on the
exhausted
information.
Therefore, kung na-exhaust nyo na yan, wala na kayong record. So, ibig sabihin it's almost next to impossible na makita pa yung mga taong yan kung non-existent o existent yan. No?
Sir, as I've mentioned po, limited yung information because it's only the name. So, I cannot say na 100% accurate yung negative results po.
No, thank you.
Okay. So, if there are no more clarificatory questions to the PSA, then we are directing the COMSEC again to call the respondent vice president so that the oath can be administered and she will be given opportunity to present her evidence, including those which will counter the findings of the Philippine Statistics Authority. COMSEC, please.
Is the Vice President present today? The respondent is not present today, Madam Chair.
Let it be placed on the record that we call the Vice President to give her the continuing opportunity to present her evidence in today's proceedings. Having said so, may I solicit the necessary motion to excuse the PSA from our proceedings today?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Honorable Sindanya.
Madam Chair, I move to excuse the representative, a resource person from the PSA. So
There's a
moved, Madam Chair.
motion to excuse the PSA resource person. The same has been seconded. Any objection? Hearing none, the motion is granted. Ms. Grande is excused from this proceeding. Maraming salamat po for your time spent with us.
Thank you, ma'am.
Now we proceed to our next resource person, Attorney Camora from ICFAO of the Commission on Audit. The floor is now open for the clarificatory questions of the Justice members. The Honorable Joboy Aquino.
Thank you, Madam Chair. If I may direct my clarificatory questions to Attorney Camora relating to certain issues on the confidential funds and what the Cabrera complaint describes as implausible expenditures and documentary irregularities. But before that, I believe, Attorney Camora, that you were subpoenaed not only to testify, but to bring along with you the documents requested for the subpoena. Do you have them with you?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Madam Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Attorney Camora, let me refer to what paragraph 49 of the Cabrera complaints calls rapid liquidation. Can you confirm that the entire 125 million pesos was purportedly disbursed and liquidated in just 11 days, including multiple non-working holidays?
Yes, Madam Chair, based on the documents submitted.
So for the record, during a period filled with Christmas Eve, Rizal Day, and New Year's Eve, the OVP averaged an expenditure of over 11 million pesos per day.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Madam Chair.
For the benefit of all members of this committee, emphasis must be placed on the liquidation of confidential funds for the fourth quarter of 2022 because of how rapid the liquidation was compared to other quarters where the OVP liquidated the same amounts. To place in context, And based on the complaints, the OVP has consistently liquidated the amount of 125 million pesos since the office was allocated confidential funds. What sets fourth quarter of 2022 apart is that the OVP spent the same amount it would usually take 3 months to spend in a span of 11 days, with 4 of those days being holidays. Attorney Camora, as per the Joint Circular Number 2015-01, when we talk about such confidential funds, we talk about lump sum amounts provided as such in the GAA for NGAs, in appropriation ordinances for LGUs, and in COBs for GOCCs for their confidential expenses. While confidential expenses refer to those expenses pertaining related to surveillance activities in civilian government agencies that are intended to support the mandate or operations of the agency. Am I correct?
That is correct, Madam Chair.
Paragraphs 42 to 44 of the Sabala complaint, can we please, allege that your office issued 2 audit observation memoranda on the liquidation of the OVP of its confidential funds for the fourth quarter of 2022. And the OVP only responded in October 2023. Did you bring these documents with you?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Meron din daw reply ang OVP dated October 19, 2023, kung saan nag-submit sila ng DEPs, meaning documents, evidence in payments, no? But they were insufficient to address deficiencies doon sa dalawang AOMs COA had issued. Can you confirm this?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Did we flash the 2 AOMs?
Please flash the AOM Secretariat.
And just to clarify, Attorney Camora, meron rin naman kayong na-issue ng mga AOMs sa OVP para sa kanilang liquidation ng first quarter, second quarter, and third quarter of 2023. Tama po.
Tama po, Madam Chair.
And for the record, meron ring AOM na na-issue para sa 2023 liquidation naman sa DepEd. Tama po ba ito?
Tama po, Madam Chair.
And itong mga AOMs na ito, kasama rin ito sa mga documents na dinala at sinabmit mo sa committee secretary? Am I correct?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, sa pagkakaalam ko, first time na ma-allocate sa OVP ang ganito kalaki na halaga. 125 million pesos each quarter or 500 million a year. Ganon din sa DepEd. Actually, first time mabigyan ng confidential funds sa time ni VP. Considering that as head of agency of both OVP and DepEd, she had the ultimate role of approving and overseeing the implementation of the programs under both offices. And without her approval as head of agency, no confidential funds may be released or disposed. This must be taken into consideration when we determine existence of probable cause later on. Still on the matter of implausible expenditures and documentary irregularities, as discussed in the Cabrera complaint, did you bring as well documents showing exorbitant per day rates, patterns, documents showing failure to submit debts, as well documents that would show the OVP's failure to substantiate their expenses for tables, chairs, and desktop computers charged to confidential funds, such as the Audit Observation Memorandum and the OVP response letters. Did you bring it?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Attorney Camora, and that would be all, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Joboy Aquino. The Honorable Rog Gutierrez is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I'd also like to ask questions to the resource person, Attorney Camora, if I may proceed.
Yet,
Thank you.
you may proceed.
To the Honorable Chair, Attorney Camora, good afternoon po. In your audit of both the OVP and DepEd, did you find that the liquidation documents for both agencies shared the exact same red flags and or deficiencies?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Yes, there were similarities po.
Yes, there were similarities po.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As publicized in your own website, an unqualified opinion is defined as an opinion issued when the auditor concludes that the financial statements are prepared in all material respects in accordance with the applicable financial reporting framework. Can you confirm that an unqualified opinion merely affirms that an agency complies with the core rules on how reporting of expenses should be made, but whether that agency indeed used the funds in accordance with law is another matter?
Let me check the COA website po. Yes po.
So we have that affirmation po.
Unqualified opinion, Madam Chair.
Yes, the unqualified opinion. I'll just rephrase po, no? The unqualified opinion merely affirms that an agency complies with core rules on how reporting of expenses should be made. But whether that agency indeed used the funds in accordance with law is another matter.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, there was a mention of notice of disallowance and a pending appeal, and if I recall correctly during previous hearings, the VP repeatedly stated during various media interviews that she filed an appeal in relation to the COA findings and the notice of disallowance issued. And I recall, I think part of the subpoena was that you were to bring all the documents. What is the subject of this appeal, Attorney Camora?
Our notice of disallowance for the fourth quarter of 2022, Madam Chair.
Fourth quarter of 2022, this would be OVP kasi wala pang DepEd po. No?
OVP po.
So, Attorney Camora, ano po yung status ng appeal na ito?
Madam Chair, the Commission Proper of the COA has already decided on the appeal po.
Can you say that again, Attorney Camora?
The Commission Proper has decided on the appeal na po.
The Commission and Bank has decided already on the appeal.
Commission Proper po.
The Commission proper has decided already on the appeal.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay. You may continue, Honorable Gutierrez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a development po, no? Kasi last time wala pa. So, meron na palang decision. Do you have a copy of this decision, Madam Chair?
I have a copy po, and although hindi po namin siya nasama sa submissions for today, we could give yung digital copies po.
Madam Chair, ano po yung finding ng COA dito?
They affirmed our disallowance po.
Madam Chair, since you have the copy on hand anyway, can you please read the dispositive portion of the ruling?
For a while lang po. Wherefore, the petition for review treated as appeal of Ms. Sara Z. Duterte, Vice President, Ms. Gina Acosta, Special Dispersing Officer, and Ms. Julieta L. Villa del Rey, Chief Accountant, Office of the Vice President, is hereby denied. Accordingly, Commission on Audit, Intelligence and Confidential Funds Audit Office, Notice of Disallowance Number 2024-002-100 for 2022, dated August 8, 2024, on the confidential expenses of the OVP for the period from December 21 to 31, 2022, in the amount of 73,287,000 is affirmed. Signed by the chairperson and the commissioners.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And Madam Chair, just to clarify, this means that the COA affirmed the notice of disallowance number 2024-002-100.
Yes, Madam Chair.
And this notice of disallowance number 2024-002-100 was on the confidential expenses of the OVP for the period from December 21 to 31, 2022, which disallowed the amount of 69,787,000 for the purchase of rewards and 3,500,000 for the purchase of tables, chairs, desktop computers, and printers.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Will you also confirm, Madam Chair, that the OVP did not present the details or breakdown of the confidential expenses and the narration of the success of the information gathering and/or surveillance activities which were conducted?
Yes, Madam Chair.
So, Madam Chair, can you confirm that since the OVP failed to prove the relationship between their submitted DEPs and the purpose for which they allege to have spent the same, can we conclude that all these DEPs are fraudulent and fabricated?
It just means po that they did not comply with the joint circular.
Just did not comply. Okay. We'll take that as it is, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, it further states that the official receipts or sales invoices are required as documentary evidence of payment and not merely acknowledged receipts. Can you confirm this, Madam Chair?
Yes, Madam Chair.
So, Madam Chair, does that mean that official receipts or sales invoices are required to prove that the purpose for said expenses was related to confidential funds?
Based on the joint circular, it is not really a requirement. What is required under the joint circular is a documentary evidence of payment.
Madam Chair, but early on you said that not merely acknowledged receipts yung required. Kailangan rin po yung the official receipts or sales invoices. So,
Dito
which
po
would it
sa
be?
ND, parang hindi po yun yung naging reason. It's more on, hindi po na-prove na yung 3.5 expenditures were used for confidential activities. Yun po yung nasa decision po.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We'll take it as this now. Madam Chair, it was mentioned earlier that there were AOMs issued for the liquidation of OVP confidential funds for Q1 to Q3 of 2023. What are the status of these AOMs, Attorney Camora?
For the first 2 quarters, for all 3 quarters, Madam Chair, we have issued a notice of disallowance.
Can you repeat that, Attorney Camora? The
We-
question is about the AOM of OVP for the first, second, and third quarter of 2023. What is the status of that AOM?
Yes, Madam Chair. We have already issued the ND for the 3 quarters.
Which means that the COA sustained the observation in AOM.
Yes, Madam Chair. It means po na their compliance, we still did not deem their compliance sufficient.
Which means that your observation is they violated the joint circular.
Yes,
Because
Madam
you
Chair.
issued the notices of disallowance.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Yes. Honorable Gutierrez, you may proceed.
Madam Chair, if I recall correctly, during the previous hearings, we were still at the stage that they were waiting for a reply. So this would mean nag-reply na po yung office and there was actually a notice of disallowance already.
Yes,
That just
Madam
confirming po what the Madam Chair said. So may we know, Madam Chair, on what ground the notice of disallowances were issued?
Madam Chair, I don't have a copy right now of the ND.
Madam Chair, so you don't have a copy of the notice of disallowance right now?
We don't have a copy yet po. We will furnish na lang po the House with the succeeding days the copy of the notice of disallowance.
Okay, Madam Chair. Ideally, we would be able to clarify po, no?
Yes.
Yung notice of disallowance. This is a development much related to our proceedings and related to our clarificatory questions for
For the
property
record,
laws.
we are requesting Attorney Camora to submit to the committee
Yes,
within the
Madam.
period of 3 days from today, the copy of the denial of the appeal with respect to the fourth quarter of 2022 of the CF of OVP, as well as the copy of the notices of disallowance pertaining to the first, second, and third quarter of 2023 CF, likewise of the OVP. That is for the record. Honorable Gutierrez.
Well, Madam Chair, after all, we're limited to clarificatory questions lang, man. I'll just leave it at there. Thank you po, Attorney Camora. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any other justice members who wish to raise question to Attorney Camora?
Madam Chair, may I be
The
allowed?
Honorable Jokno is recognized.
Just to be clear on this, when there is a notice of disallowance, this is based on the Joint Circular 2015-01 on the use of confidential funds. Am I right?
Yes, Madam Chair.
And once a notice of disallowance is issued and then later affirmed on appeal, there now gives rise to an obligation on the part of the persons responsible to restitute the amount. Is that correct?
Yes, Madam Chair, when it becomes final.
Who were those who were held liable in the notices of disallowance that were subject of appeal that you just mentioned?
The Vice President as head of agency, the SDO, Ms. Gina Acosta, the accountant, Ms. Villa Del Rey, and Colonel La Chica.
So ang ibig po sabihin yan ay sa mata ng COA, yung mga pondong yon, yung mga confidential funds na yon, ay dapat ibabalik ng mga nabanggit yung opisyal, beginning with Vice President Duterte and the others that you mentioned, dahil nga walang naging basehan sa kanilang paggamit. Am I correct?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Oh, that's a very interesting development, Madam Chair.
Clarification
Sure po.
Yung sa NDs po issued by the ICFAO, it's more on hindi po na-comply ang requirements ng Joint Circular 2015 po.
So, and yung purpose po ng joint circular ay para ma-ensure na yung binibigay na confidential funds ay talagang mapupunta doon sa tamang paggamit.
It's properly documented po, opo.
And because the notices of disallowance were affirmed sa appeal, ang ibig sabihin nun ay hindi tumupad yung mga responsible officials, beginning with Vice President Sara, doon sa nakalagay na requirements sa Joint Circular 2015-01. Tama po.
Tama po, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Chair, Madam
So,
Chair.
for the guidance of the members, Attorney Camora of ICFAO COA just testified that the pending appeal of the Vice President with respect to the notice of disallowance of 73 million that is part of the confidential fund of the OVP for the last quarter of 2022 has been denied by the Commission on Proper. Because this is a recent development, that is why I am bringing it to the attention of the justice members. Likewise, Attorney Camora just testified that the AOM corresponding to the first, second, and third quarter of 2023 CF of OVP has been issued as well a corresponding notice of disallowance. So that is for the guidance of the justice members. And again, we are requesting Attorney Camora to provide the committee copy of the denial of the appeal, the decision denying the appeal, as well as the 3 notices of disallowance to be submitted to the Justice Committee within the period of 3 days from today.
Madam Chair, isang pahabol lang po.
Honorable Jokno.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ang ibig po sabihin nito, pag sinabi natin may obligasyon na i-restitute, ang ibig sabihin nun ay dapat ibabalik ng mga opisyal na yon yung 73 million pesos na confidential funds. Tama po yun.
Tama po, Madam Chair.
And they are in effect liable for that fund and they must return it to the government dahil public funds po yan.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Madam
Does
Chair.
that answer apply also to the denial of the appeal? Since na-deny yung appeal sa fourth quarter ng 2022, does it warrant also the restitution, automatic restitution of the amount?
Madam Chair, let me clarify po. Kung yung ND, hindi pa po, but yung affirmed na po yung ND, yun pa yung final ng COA.
Yes. So with the affirmation of the notice of disallowance, yun bang naging kasagutan mo kay Congressman Jokno applies as well? About the restitution, ang pagbabalik ng concerned amount.
As to yung denied na appeal na po, yes.
Yes, that is
For
73
restitution.
million.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Yes. Okay.
Madam Chair,
The Honorable Tino.
clarificatory question. So, bagong development nga po na denied yung appeal. So, therefore, yung 125 million or 73 million doon sa 125 million noong December 22, last quarter ng 2022, kailangan ng isole dahil meron na pong denial nung appeal sa notice of disallowance. Tapos sabi nyo, bago rin ito, Madam Chair, na nag-issue ang ICFAO, tama po ba, ng notice of disallowance para sa 3 quarter, para sa paggamit ng confidential funds sa 3 quarter ng 2023, the first 3 quarters. Tama po?
Tama po, Madam Chair.
Okay, at magkano po yung amount? Yung po bang buong, kasi per quarter, hindi po ba ang nire-release at ino-audit nyo ay 125 million na confidential funds. So, yung notice of disallowance says for the 3 quarters ay para ba dun sa buong 125 million or partial lang po?
It's for the entire 375 million na po.
It's
Yung
for the,
3
okay.
quarters.
So it's for the entire 375 million pesos. So yung buong confidential funds na po.
Yes,
Tama po?
Madam Chair.
Okay, very clear. Pero ngayon, kayo ang nag-issue, may appeal na po ba?
They have 180 days to appeal the ND.
They have 180 days to appeal. Okay. So thank you for that information. So Madam Chair, ulit. So a total of 375 million pesos of confidential funds of the Office of the Vice President has been disallowed by the ICFAO of COA. Thank you.
All right. So it's clear that the consequence of the denial of the appeal and the issuance of the corresponding notices of disallowance is the obligation to restitute. In Filipino, ibalik ang pera. That is 73 million for the 2022 fourth quarter and 375 million for the 3 quarters of 2023. Any other clarificatory questions for Attorney Camora? The Honorable Abante and then the Honorable De Lima.
Gusto ko pong maintindihan, yung dapat isole ng OVP 375 million, attorney? Yun po ba ang dapat isole? Yung
Based
po
on
ba
the
yung dinenay ninyo?
based on the notice of disallowance, opo.
Okay, pero kinakailangan ba nilang sagutin by an appeal, right? Then afterwards, kinakailangan ng ibalik kung halimbawa yung appeal nilang ginawa dininay nyo na naman. Correct?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Ano yung timeline ng pagsoli ng mga pera?
Madam Chair,
After the last appeal. Last appeal na ba yon? Yung i-appeal nila? Is that the last appeal?
they can resort pa po they can resort po to the courts.
Ano yun? Is it a continuing appeal? Ano ba yun?
No, it's not a continuing appeal po.
Ano yun?
Sa Supreme Court na po. Petition
Supreme
for...
Court na. So, hindi kayo pupunta ng ombudsman para i-demanda na? Ganon?
No, Madam Chair.
Kayo mismo ang pupunta ng Supreme Court? O sila?
Sila po.
Sila?
Sila po ang
Okay. Ngayon, itong 375 million na ito,
Honorable Abante, please be reminded to confine your questions to clarificatory only.
oh, Madam Chair, I am actually looking at the statement given by Attorney Cabrera on the fourth impeachment complaint. Siya po yung sumagot ng Supreme Court, hindi po ako eh. Alright. Okay. So, ang gusto ko lang maintindihan dito, for example, yung notice of disallowance, disallowing 73,287,000 na mga expenditure na itemize nila. For example, like 10 million cash rewards, 34,807 various goods, 24,930 medicines. Yun po ang pagkakasulat nila.
Opo, Madam Chair.
So hindi nyo na sinabi kung ano yung itemized pa ng various goods at ng medicines.
It was all lumped sa payment of rewards po.
Nasa payment of rewards.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay, ngayon, itong 375 million, na 125 million per quarter, yun po ba, kasama na, in-itemize na po nila yan? O yun lang 73 million ang itemized?
Naka-itemize po yung
Naka-itemize
submissions.
lahat?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Alright. So, ibig sabihin yan, sabi mo kanina, hindi continuing appeal yan, kundi ilang appeal ang dapat nilang gawin?
It's na po, certiorari na po with the Supreme Court.
Ganun na maaari mangyari. Alright, yun lamang po, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Abante. Next is Honorable De Lima.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Paglilinaw rin po. So malinaw po sa atin na yung notice of disallowance ng COA-ICFAO sa confidential expenses ng OVP for the period of December 21 to 31, 2022 in the amount of 73,287,000 pesos ay inaffirm. Ibig sabihin yung appeal ni VP Sara ay binasura ng Commission Proper.
Tama po, Madam Chair.
Sa decision po ng COA, pwede ho ba natin i-flash yung decision ng COA? I understand kanina po parang pinakita na po yon. Sa page 13 po.
We are not certain about the copy of the decision, Honorable De Lima, so perhaps we will be waiting until the submission of the Honorable Camora,
Oh, okay. So
of Attorney Camora.
So we cannot yet. We
Yes.
cannot yet be
Yes.
citing certain provisions.
Yes.
In the.
Until we receive the official copy of the decision and the notices of disallowance.
Okay. So ibig sabihin po, kasi nabanggit niyo po kanina, Attorney Camora, na yung pag-issue ng notice of disallowance o pag-disallow nung 73,287,000 at pag-affirm ng Commission Proper. Ibig sabihin no, sinabi ng Commission Proper na hindi sumunod talaga dun sa Joint Circular 2015-01.
Tama po, Madam
At
Chair.
yung Joint Circular 2015-01 ay ito talaga yung tungkol sa entitlement, sa release and the use of confidential funds.
Tama po, Madam Chair.
Iba po ito, doon sa circular naman, para sa mga regular expenditures.
Tama po, Madam Chair.
At kaya po merong ganyan, separate na joint circular ay dahil nakikita rin na special talaga ang pag-treat ng intelligence and confidential funds. Pero ibig sabihin, hindi pwedeng hindi suriin, hindi pwedeng hindi audit kahit intelligence and confidential funds siya.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Meron din hong bang nakasabi, although I know na sabi nga po, lininaw po niya ng ating chair na let's wait for the copy, yung talagang official copy of the decision, although you have it already, but we want really yung pinaka-official in the sense na nandyan yung hard copy. Ay natatandaan niyo ho ba kung sa decision na yan ay may nakasabi doon na mali talaga yung paggamit ng mga confidential funds sa OVP? Hindi alinsunod sa circular, sa joint circular.
Madam Chair, it's... sandali lang po ulit.
Hindi sa mga tamang gamit ng confidential funds as prescribed under the joint circular.
Nakalagay po, in this case, the accomplishment report on the utilization of confidential and intelligent funds, the DEPs and the certification submitted failed to comply with the guidelines and conditions set forth under the joint circular po.
Tama rin po ba ang isipin na kapag sinabing failed to comply with the requirements or the, the requirements of the joint circular is there is a misuse of the confidential funds? Kasi tamang paggamit. So kung hindi tama yung paggamit, then there's misuse of the confidential funds. Tama po bang interpretasyon yan?
There is no such indication dito sa joint sa decision po. It's just that hindi po nag-comply with the joint circular.
Kaya nga po, kung hindi nag-comply ng joint circular, and the joint circular in a specific section enumerated the various uses, the legal uses of confidential funds. Di ho ba?
I can only quote po kung ano yung nakalagay sa decision, which is yun po.
Yes, kindly confine your answer to the contents of the decision.
Yes po. Which is yun po, failed to comply with the guidelines and conditions set forth in the joint circular po.
Failed to comply with the guidelines, kaya pinapasauli.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Meron din po sana akong tanong, Madam Chair.
Please keep it clarificatory only.
Yes, Madam Chair. And this is the notice of disallowance doon sa confidential funds of the OVP for the period February 6 to September 30, 2023 in the total amount of 375 million. So the notice of disallowance covers a total of 375 million of confidential funds drawn by the Office of the President for the year 2023. Tama?
Tama po, Madam Chair.
At base sa inyong notice of disallowance, ang direktiba ni Vice President kay Special Disbursing Officer Gina Acosta na i-release ang cash advances for confidential expenses kay Colonel Lachica ng Vice President Security and Protection Group ang dahilan ng disallowance. Tama?
Ang nakalagay po is direct the aforementioned persons liable to settle immediately the said disallowance. Audit disallowances not appealed within 6 months from receipt thereof shall become final and executory as prescribed under PD 1445 po.
Ang direktibang ito ay labag sa item 6.1.1 ng Joint Circular number 2015-01 na nagsasabing, I quote, "Under no circumstance shall the confidential funds be used for liquidation of the previous cash advance to be transferred from one accountable officer to another."
Yes,
Tama
Madam
po yun.
Chair. Tama
Kaya
po,
nga
Madam
po,
Chair.
yung bibigay o pag-i-issue ng cash advance para ipambayad o i-cover yung mga una ng nagastos ay pinagbabawal po yan sa joint circular. Kasi cash advance para doon sa implementasyon ng isang programa o activity na gagawin pa lang. Tama po ba yun?
Tama po, Madam Chair, pero I don't think that is the reason dun po sa ND. I think the reason is yung transfer of to another accountable officer
Yes,
po.
the transfer. Kasi dito po sa facts of the case, dun sa kwento rin ni Mr. Madiaga kanina, sa allegations sa
Honorable De
complaint.
Lima, that might be a probing question already.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So we'll wait na lang po.
Yes, let's wait for
For the official
the
copy.
submission of the official copy of the decision as well as the corresponding notices of disallowance.
Thank you, Madam Chair. That's all for
Any
now.
other member who wish to raise clarificatory questions?
Madam Chair.
The Honorable Tino. And then the Honorable Ridon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Attorney Camora mentioned that the reason for disallowance was transfer to another accountable officer. Is that correct?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Concretely, that means that the confidential funds, ayon po sa inyong joint circular, ang accountable po sa confidential funds ay yung head of agency o di kaya yung special disbursing officer. Yun po ang ibig sabihin. Tama po yun, ano?
Tama po, Madam
So, ang
Chair.
ibig sabihin, dapat ang accountable sa confidential funds ay si Vice President Sara Duterte para sa confidential funds ng OVP o di kaya yung kanyang SDO, in this case it is Gina Acosta. Tama po.
Tama po.
Pero nilipat po sa ibang accountable officer. Parang ganun ang sinasabi nyo.
Yes, Madam
Tama
Chair.
po. And according to previous records admitted by this committee, nilipat po ito kay Colonel La Chica. Tama po ba?
Tama po, Madam Chair.
Tama. Okay, so thank you po, Madam Chair. So yun pala ang reason for disallowance. And in relation to that, Madam Chair, matanong ko na rin, what about the DepEd confidential funds? Ano po ang
Madam
status
Chair,
nun?
Yung, Madam Chair, yung sa DepEd po, under audit pa po siya.
Under audit pa
Yung
po.
compliance po nila.
Okay. But let me just note for the record, Madam Chair, na ayon din sa testimonya in the previous Congress na inadmit na rin dito, ay nilipat din po ng SDO. In that case, it was Edwin Fajarda. Nilipat niya ang accountability. Naging accountable officer daw, ayon kay Fajarda, ay si Colonel Nolasco naman. No, so,
That is by way of your manifestation.
that is a manifestation, Madam Speaker. In other words, may similar na circumstance. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Ridon.
Madam Chair, very important lang ho na linawin po natin yung pong binabanggit doon sa final decision po ng Commission proper, Commission and Bank, no? Kasi yung lagi hong binabanggit ay the Vice President has always been cleared of yung issues po relating to confidential funds. So, again, for the record po, for yung 2022 confidential funds, may finality na po yung finding ng Commission proper. Tama po ba?
Yes, as to the CP decision po. Opo.
Tama po. Tapos yung para dun sa 2023 confidential funds, meron pong notice of disallowance.
Tama po, Madam Chair.
So ibig sabihin, hindi ho tama yung sabi-sabi na never ho nagkaroon ng adverse finding yung pong Vice President at yung OVP sa paggamit po ng confidential funds.
Meron na nga pong AOM and notice of disallowance.
Yun na nga po kasi yan po yung naririnig ho sa iba't ibang mga quarters na may ganyan daw po. So clearly, meron po talagang adverse finding against the OVP during those particular periods. And doon po sa decision with finality po ng Commission proper, sino po yung nakatali doon sa pagsasoli ng pera dito po sa 73 million po na ito? Can we state it again for the record? Ibig sabihin po, sino ho yung inuutusan ng komisyon para magsoli po nung pong kaperahan po na ito?
Ang Vice President ang Special Disbursing Officer, and ang Chief Accountant po.
Can we state their names for the record? So Vice President Sara Duterte,
Miss Gina Acosta as SDO and Miss Julieta Villa del Rey as Chief Accountant po.
all right, thank you, Madam Chair.
All right, so if there are no other questions for the resource person from COA, then we will be directing the COMSEC to call again the Vice President to make sure that we extend the continuing opportunity for her to present her evidence. COMSEC,
Madam Chair,
the Honorable Nasal,
just a quick manifestation.
you would like to manifest?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, please proceed.
I respectfully manifest for the record, on the fourth quarter 2022 disallowance, the 73.2 million ND is not yet final. Subject pa po ito to reconsideration and judicial review. Kaya hindi pa po ito pwede maging basis ng definitive finding of misuse. On the 2023 disallowances, the appeal period is still running. These findings are not yet final and stayed ang execution. Premature po to treat them as impeachable acts habang ini-exhaust pa ang remedies. And on the nature of the notice of disallowances, a notice of disallowance is an administrative audit finding, often involving procedural deficiencies. Hindi ito equivalent to a finding of corruption. I so manifest, Madam Chair. Thank you.
While we respect the Honorable Nasal in his manifestation, just for the guidance of the justice members, our standard is merely probable cause. So I think it is inconsistent to wait until the final pronouncement of the Supreme Court on the allegations of misuse of confidential fund before we are able to determine the existence or non-existence of probable cause. Let us be guided that the standard which we need to meet is only probable cause.
Madam Chair,
The Honorable Dilima.
if I may add, the possibility of reconsideration, just like the possibility of reversal of the notice of disallowance of the ICFAO, the reversal by the Commission proper is almost nil. Because these are findings, we are talking here about the same findings, the same standards as prescribed in the joint circular. So that's one point, that's first point. My first point is that it's next to impossibility that there will be reconsideration of the Commission proper. Secondly, this is an impeachment proceedings, a separate, a sui generis constitutional process, and therefore, as mentioned by the chair, by the honorable chair, we need not wait for any so-called final ruling of the Commission proper, because the facts and the findings of the ICFAO are before us, and we have our own standards to follow at this stage of the proceedings, and that is probable cause based on those documents in relation to official guidelines like the joint circular 2015-01. Thank you.
All right. Then we proceed to our directive to the committee secretary to call the respondent to give her the opportunity to present evidence, including counter evidence to the evidence presented by COA. COMSEC.
May we know if the respondent vice president is present today? The respondent is not present today, Madam Chair.
Let it be part of our record that we called again the vice president so that she may be so that an oath may be administered on her, and so she may be allowed to present her evidence. But up to this time, she hasn't arrived to our impeachment hearing. With that, we are soliciting the necessary motion.
Madam Chair,
Honorable Gutierrez.
I move to excuse the representative of COA.
Let me just remind first Attorney Camora of our request for submission of the official copy of the decision denying the appeal. That is for the last quarter of 2022 notice of disallowance of OVP, and then the official copy of notices of disallowance for first to third quarter of 2023 OVP confidential fund.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, clarification lang po.
Honorable De Lima.
Inquiry. Okay, so our resource person here, Attorney Camora, is asked to submit the official copy of the commission
Yes.
proper decision. Does that mean that we're also requiring her to reappear before this hearing, before this proceedings?
I understand that we have raised enough clarificatory questions already. So we just need to satisfy ourselves with the official copy of the documents which she mentioned. So
Yes.
we don't need to require her to attend on the next hearing. She satisfied already all our clarificatory questions. What the committee needs are only the official copies of the decision of the commission proper, as well as the notices of disallowance.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
With that, there's a motion to excuse Attorney Camora of ICFAO COA. Is there a second? The same has been seconded. Any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved. Attorney Camora is excused. Maraming salamat po for spending time with the committee. The floor is now open for clarificatory questions to our last resource person for the day, Attorney Poa. Any member? Yeah, the Honorable Tino.
Maraming salamat, Madam Chair. So, if I may address my questions to the Attorney Poa. Attorney Poa, magandang hapon po. Narito po kayo bilang dating spokesperson, Chief of Staff, with rank of Undersecretary ng Department of Education sa ilalim ni dating DepEd Secretary and of course Vice President Sara Duterte. Tama po?
Madam Chair, Your Honor, tama po yun.
Tama po ba yung mga titulong minanggit ko?
Tama po.
Tama. Okay. Chief of Staff, Spokesperson, rank of Undersecretary. Okay. And of course, sa nakaraang Kongreso ay isa kayo sa mga resource persons sa mga hearing ng Committee on Good Government chaired by the Honorable Chua. At nabanggit na kanina na inadmit na at bahagi na ng proceedings yung mga records nito, no? Including yung mga sworn testimony po ninyo. Hindi po ba? Tama
Madam
po.
Chair, Your Honor, tama po.
Tama po. Madam Chair, meron lang po akong ilang clips ng mga specific testimony niya nung panahong yon na gusto ko lang po magtanong ng ilang clarificatory questions kaugnay dito. Una po, let me point out na sa Sabalya complaint po, page 90 of the Sabalya complaint ay nandoon po ang pagbanggit nito. In paragraph 269, high-ranking officials of the Department of Education testified before Congress that they received multiple envelopes containing cash amounts ranging from 12,000 to 50,000 pesos. These officials believed that these envelopes came directly from VP Sara, with one former DepEd spokesperson, Michael Poa, testifying that he received envelopes directly from VP Sara herself. So yan po ay nasa Sabalya complaint. Tapos, nandyan po yung clip nung testimonya niya mismo kung pwede pong ma-play natin.
May we know from the committee secretariat if the video of Attorney Poa admitting to having received that envelope with certain amount of money is already available? Okay. Kindly play the video.
Yes, sir. When I was Hope, sir, I became Hope. No, I can categorically say I was not able to receive a single envelope at all. But do remember sometime December 2022 or early December, I did receive an envelope, just minimal amount. And at times, pag nagsasabi, may mga times kasi, sir, na candidly, medyo napagalitan ako because nag-aabono daw ako. Because when people come to me as a spokesperson, sometimes they tell problems. I would give, at the end of the day, ang kailangan lang pala nila, 3,000, 5,000. So nagbibigay ako personally. So there were instances, occasional, although not regularly, not like monthly at all, that I would receive, but not from ASEC Shine. I would, when I would tell the VP, like nung Christmas, the VP give it to me herself.
There are times.
But yes, yes, sir. When I was Hope, sir, I became Hope, no? I can categorically say I was not able to receive.
Kumulit na po. Pwede pong i-pause na muna. Okay. So yun po yung unang clip. At sabi nyo, when I was Hope, sir. Pwede po bang ilinaw lang ano ibig sabihin ng Hope?
Head of procuring entity po.
Head of procuring entity. So hindi nyo po nabanggit na or banggitin natin for the record na aside from being spokesperson and chief of staff, kayo rin po ang head of procuring entity.
Only for a certain time po. Madam Chair, sorry. Madam
Sige,
Madam
please
Chair,
clarify
Your Honor.
po.
Apo. If I may just clarify on all the dates, Your Honor, para lang klaro tayo.
Okay.
Kasi I think dun sa subpoena, mali din yung dates.
Ay,
as
opo,
chief of
please
staff.
clarify then.
When I was hired sa DepEd, I was hired as a spokesperson with a rank of Director 4. That was back in July 2022. Ngayon po, yung pagiging Undersecretary and Chief of Staff ko po, Your Honor, it wasn't until April 1, 2023 kung kailan ako na-appoint as Undersecretary and Chief of Staff. And then yung Hope po, ako po yung naging Hope October, I have the date here just to be exact, no? October 17, 2023. Yun po yung nag-retire si Yusek Mercado.
Okay.
Doon po ako naging Hope.
Okay, thank you. So yung panahon na ito, December 2022, hindi pa po kayo Hope.
Hindi
So
pa po.
kayo po ay spokesperson.
Apo, spokesperson.
Okay, thank you. And then, you received an envelope containing an amount from ang importante pong sinabi niyo rito, the VP gave it to me herself po.
Apo.
Tama po. Binigyan po kayo mismo direkta
Apo.
ng envelope ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Ngayon, as to the amount, hindi niyo po binabanggit dito. By the way, Madam Chair, this is from the transcript of October 17, 2024. Wala pong binanggit about the amount. But in a subsequent hearing, November 5, 2024, ay may mababanggit na po na amount. Please play the second clip po.
Attorney Powa, do you remember receiving an envelope that has about 200,000 in it?
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, no. The simple answer is no. The biggest, if I need to share,
Yeah, go
probably, when one time nakwento ko nga na nag-reimburse ako because of a media party, no, for, just to host the media for Christmas, I was given around 20 to 25 at that time, which was, well, to be candid, lower pa than what I made abono, but who are we to diba? So, but never, definitely not 200, not 100,000, not 50,000.
Okay.
Oh, Miss Catalan.
Okay, thank you. So dito po, sinabi nyo na I was given, so just to clarify, yung pinag-uusapan yung insidente na binigyan kayo, dalawa po kasing magkakaibang hearing to. This is the same incident.
If I may just contextualize everything.
Yes, please.
Your Honor. Kasi there were several incidents na nire-reimburse ako, although hindi siya yung monthly, no? So, for example, Your Honor, that incident that we were pertaining to, the same incident close to December, because we had to host, alam nyo na, yung fellowship ng media, kinulang po yung budget ng DepEd, so naglabas ako ng sarili kong pera. So that's what happened. Now, in other incidents, similarly, that's why I had to really categorically say that these were reimbursements for personal expenses that I personally shelled out po.
Okay. So binigyan po kayo ng binigyan kayo sa isang envelope ni Vice President Sara Duterte ng 20 to 25,000 pesos noong December 2022. Tama po.
Hindi ko na po matandaan kung 20 to 25, but yes, it was the same.
Well,
it
yun
was
yung
the
sinabi
same.
nyo rito.
Yes po, ito po.
Okay. Okay, so binigyan kayo nun. Tapos, parang binanggit mo na rin, hindi ito yung iisang pagkakataon na binibigyan kayo. Kasi sabi nyo dito, the biggest if I need to share, so implying that you received more than once. Tama po?
Madam Chair, yes.
Yes,
that
okay.
was the truth.
Sabi nyo po, reimbursement. So, ibig sabihin, hindi po, yung binigay sa inyo ay hindi sweldo, hindi rin yung mga allowances na tinatanggap ng government employee under salary standardization law. Tama po ba?
Tama po, at hindi po
Okay.
siya regular, Your Honor.
Hindi regular.
Hindi siya monthly,
Okay.
kumbaga. That's what I meant to say.
Reimbursement. So, meron po ba kayong resibong pinirmahan bilang reimbursement?
Honorable Tino, please
Yes.
confine to what appears in the transcript.
Okay.
You might be probing already.
All right. Sige, thank you, Madam Chair. Then,
For the guidance of the members, the questions of the Honorable Tino is anchored on the statements of
Yes.
Attorney Poa appearing in the transcript of the Inquiry in Aid of Legislation conducted by the Good Government Committee in the 19th Congress. But
Yes.
please confine your questions to the
All right.
transcript.
Okay. You didn't, okay. So, reimbursements po ang intindi nyo dito. Tama po.
Well, hindi lang po intindi because, Your Honor, Madam Chair, may I just give some context, just for clarity for everyone.
Yes, you may proceed.
Yes. I'll give you an example po, a very concrete example. Pumunta po kami ng ating Vice Presidente noon when she was Secretary of Education sa isang burol. No? After po ng burol na yun, marami nagpapapicture sa kanya. May mga lumalapit po, may lumapit po na bata, nagbebenta po ng mga damit. It was Shein na damit. I don't know if I'm correct, if I'm saying it correctly, but she said, tulungan natin. Gusto kong bilhin, no? So, syempre, ang dami po nagpapapicture sa kanya. Ako po yung naglabas ng pera para po mabayaran yung binibentang damit. At pagkatapos po nun, a few days after, naalala niya, tinanong niya sa akin kung magkano nagastos ko. It was around 6,000 if I'm not mistaken. Binalik po niya sa akin yung 6,000. Ganun po yung nature ng...
Okay.
That's why I keep on saying reimbursement.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was asking kung may resibo po ba doon sa reimbursement to determine whether or not government funds were used.
Your question
However,
about the receipt is probing already.
However, since these are probing questions, ipaubayan na po natin yan
Yes.
sa ibang venue.
After
if
all,
ever.
our standard is merely probable cause.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Okay. So yun po yung unang tanong. Ngayon, kaugnay naman po sa confidential funds. Dahil po sa Annex U ng Sabalia complaint, ay yan po yung reply ng DepEd. Okay, Annex U. Ito po yung dated 17 April 2024, addressed to Honorable Nilda B. Plaras, Assistant Commissioner of the ICFAO of COA, at pirmado po ni Attorney Michael Wesley T. Poa as Undersecretary and Chief of Staff. Do you affirm, Madam Chair, na kayo ang nakapirma dito at sinabit talaga ito ninyo in behalf of DepEd bilang tugon sa ICFAO?
Madam Chair, Your Honor, yes, I confirm that.
Yes, okay. Tapos, dito po, ito ay sagot sa Audit Observation Memo ng COA, which is Annex Q of the Sabalia complaint. No, ito naman po yung Audit Observation Memorandum ng COA dated February 1, 2024, AOM number 2024-015. At dito po pinagpapaliwanag, naka-address po actually kay Vice President Sara Z. Duterte as Secretary of Department of Education. Tapos ang sabi, attention, Mr. Edward D. Fajarda, Special Disbursing Officer, and Ms. Maria Runa L. Catalan, Chief Accountant. So sila po ang in-address ng COA, pero kayo po ang sumagot. Bakit po ganun?
Madam Chair, Your Honor, kasi po, ang proseso po sa DepEd, pag dumating po ang AOM, ang una pong nakakatanggap niyan ay Undersecretary of Finance. And from the Undersecretary of Finance, nire-refer po yan dun sa mismong opisina that is subject of the AOM. In this case, I was actually both. Because noong pong I think we received it Feb 1 or Feb 2. Ako po ay OIC Undersecretary of Finance dahil nasuspende po ng Ombudsman yung Undersecretary of Finance nung panahon na yon. At ako po yung Undersecretary of Finance at nagkataon, ako rin po kasi yung head ng OSEC at that time, of course,
Okay.
aside from the Vice President.
So sumagot kayo bilang head ng OSEC, Office of the Secretary, dahil naka-address kay Secretary Vice President Sara Duterte.
That's correct.
And also you happen to be the OIC Undersecretary of Finance. Okay. Ngayon, bahagi po, so yung COA nga po nagpapalinaw dahil sa tingin nila may mga, sabi ng COA, parang questionable expenses na hindi alinsunod sa Joint Circular on Confidential Funds. Tama po ba?
If I may be accurate, Madam Chair, Your Honor, humihingi po ng mga documentation. Ang sinasabi po ng COA, lacking po sa supporting documents yung mga naging submission ng DepEd prior to the AOM.
Well, yun lang, isa lang po yun sa mga sinabi ng COA sa AOM. Merong kulang ng dokumento, pero meron din pong mga kine-question na expenses. So for example, sa accomplishment report nyo, sabi nyo, meron kayong binanggit na payment of incentives or traveling relative to the confidential operations. At sinabi ng COA rito, the above enumerated expenses are not among the confidential expenses enumerated in item 4.8 of JC number 2015.01. So hiningi kayo ng dokumento sa ibang bahagi, pero dito sabi, yung sinubmit yung expense, hindi kasama sa authorized expenses. At sumagot kayo doon. Ang sagot nyo po ay, kaugnay doon, babasahin ko po yung sagot nyo. Sabi nyo rito, the payment for traveling relative to the confidential operations qualify as rental of transport vehicles. So, gina-justify nyo po. At sabi nyo, as an additional incentive to operatives and agents, unmarked private vehicles were rented and provided to support surveillance and casing activities. So, you were making a statement of fact na ginamit ito were rented and provided to support surveillance and casing activities. Tama po?
Tama po, Your Honor, but that
Thank
was
you.
based on my discussion
No,
with
yun lang, tama. Yun ang sinabi mo.
Apo.
Tama, okay. Tapos, ang isa pang,
Just for the guidance of the members, Congressman Tino is reading from the letter of Attorney Poa
yes,
in response to the AOM
yes.
of DepEd.
Yes, Your Honor.
And that letter is part of the documents which were submitted to us by COA, as well as part of the documents submitted to us by the head of the Legislative Archive. That's for the record.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
But please confine to the letter.
Yes. And then, kasama din nga po yung humihingi ng dagdag na dokumento ang COA sa inyo. At ito po ang inyong sagot. Ang sagot nyo naman ay ito. On the finding that payment of rewards to informers must be supported with documents evidencing success of the information gathering and or surveillance activities on the account of the information given by the informer. So sabi nyo rito, attached here to as Annex B1 to B4 are the certifications issued by relevant partner agencies evidencing the success of various programs, projects, and activities directly resulting from the information provided by informers during the specified period. Yun po ang sagot nyo. Tama po?
I confirm that.
Tama po. And then, kasama po sa Annex V ng Annex V, V1, V2, V3 ng Sabalia complaint, yung mga certifications na binabanggit nyo. So these are certifications by various Army Infantry Divisions. 1st Infantry Division, 5th Infantry Division, 7th Infantry Division, and so on. Na sinasabi nila na naglunsad sila ng mga youth leadership seminar sa kanilang mga area of responsibility. Tama po ba?
Tama po, Your Honor.
Tama po. Okay. Okay. So, iyan po ang ilan sa mga nilalaman ng sagot ng DepEd through USEC POA sa AOM ng COA. Kaugnay sa paggamit ng confidential funds. Ngayon, pero sa nakaraang hearing, meron din kayong mga admission. Pwede po bang i-play natin yung clip?
Secretariat, please play the admission of the video of admission of Attorney Poa.
Yes.
I understand the nature of confidential funds, but on how it is actually operationalized or used on the ground, under oath, I would like to state for the record that I'm really not aware. Hindi ko po nakita yung fund, hindi ko po alam kung paano siya ino-operationalize on the ground. Ang participation ko po ay naganap nung ako po ay OIC for Finance kasi at that time, nung na-receive namin yung AOM. And then we had to respond to the AOM. And so because we had to respond to the AOM, I had to get all the documentation that COA was asking for po through that AOM.
So ibig sabihin po, hinihingi nyo lamang po itong mga documentation na to para lang ma-justify kung paano ginamit. Pero in actual, hindi talaga doon ginamit. Tama po ba? Parang ganun ang pagkakaintindi ko eh. Parang hinihingi nyo lang po yung certification nung nilabasan na kayo ng AOM.
Tama po.
Tama po?
Tama po.
Tama po, okay. So, ayun po. So, una, malinaw po. Kayo pa nagsabi, under oath, I would like to state for the record that I am really not aware, hindi ko po nakita yung fund, hindi ko po alam kung paano siya ini-operationalize on the ground. So, inamin nyo po under oath na wala talaga kayong alam kung paano ginamit yung confidential funds.
Tama naman po.
Tama naman po.
Always been
Okay, thank you.
consistent with that.
Thank you. Okay. So, at binanggit din nga po, yung mga certifications na inattach nyo, na hinihingi ng COA, actually, hindi nyo naman talaga alam kung may kinalaman ito sa paggamit ng confidential funds o hindi. Tama po?
Your Honor,
Yes or no?
Your Honor, it's not a yes or no answer.
It's not a yes or no.
If with all due
Please,
respect.
let's allow Attorney Poa to answer the
Sorry,
question.
because that,
You may proceed,
the
Attorney
clip was-
Poa.
Sige po.
The clip was spliced and I hope that we can refer the committee
Spliced?
to the entire transcript.
Okay.
Your Honor, I explained.
Well, Madam Chair, pakiklaro lang po kasi sinabi pa po niya, the clip was spliced, parang may pinagdugtong. Wala
Hindi
pong
po, sorry po,
splicing
Your
doon. Opo.
Your Honor, I apologize for
Yes,
that. That
thank
is
you.
not what I meant. Nakat lang po dun sa dulo. What I was saying, Your Honor, is I think the good chairman of the good government was also here, was at that time, since I did not have any personal knowledge on the operations, utilization, disbursement of confidential funds, that I had to rely on the documents that were submitted to me. At that time, Your Honor, when I received the AOM, of course, I had to talk to the SDO, the Special Disbursing Officer, to say saan natin kukunin itong mga documents na hiningi ng COA. I was referred to USEC Mempin, if you remember, at that time. And so I asked USEC Mempin for those. I did not even ask for certifications, which is also stated in the transcripts. I asked for accomplishment reports, Your Honor. But again, Your Honor, I apologize to
the Honorable Tino by using the word splice. I think that was inaccurate, and I really apologize
Thank
for
you.
that, Your Honor.
Okay. So actually, nandito, I have the whole transcript here. No? So actually, kayo rin ang humingi kay Yusek Mempin ng mga certifications. Pero, may alam ba o wala si Yusek Mempin sa paggamit ng confidential funds?
Your Honor, yun, hindi ko po masasagot.
Hindi niyo po masasagot. Okay. My manifestation is that as per the COA guidelines, ang may alam lang po ng kaya nga confidential funds, ang may alam lang po ng paggamit ng confidential funds ay ang Vice President as head of agency or the Special Disbursing Officer. At si Yusek Mempin, siya po ba ang Special Disbursing Officer?
Hindi po.
Hindi po. So, imposible rin na may alam si Yusek Mempin dito. So, in other words, to conclude, Madam Chair, ang nais po lang nating mailinaw dito ay gumawa kayo ng sagot sa mga paglilinaw na hinihingi ng COA sa kung paano ginamit ang confidential funds ng DepEd. Sumagot kayo kahit aminado kayo ngayon na wala talaga kayong kaalam-alam sa kung paano ito ginamit.
That is
Tama po
a
ba?
manifestation, Congressman Tino. You should not be raising that question to Attorney Poa.
Okay.
Make
Then-
it a manifestation
Thank
instead.
you. That was a rhetorical manifestation, Madam Chair. And with that, I conclude. Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right. So any other clarificatory questions for Attorney Poa? If there are none, we direct again the committee secretary to call again the Vice President to give her opportunity to present evidence. Comsec?
May we know if the respondent Vice President is present today? The respondent is not present today, Madam Chair.
Let it be part of the record that we called again the Vice President and she continues to be not around. The intention of calling her is to extend the continuing opportunity to present her evidence, including counter evidence to the testimony that was given by Attorney Michael Poa. May I solicit the necessary motion to excuse Attorney Michael Poa?
Madam Chair, I move
The
to
Honorable
excuse
Gutierrez.
Attorney Poa from today's hearings.
Yes, there's a motion to excuse Attorney Poa. The same has been seconded. Any objection? Hearing none, the motion is granted.
Thank you, Your
Attorney
Honor.
Michael Poa is excused. Maraming salamat po
Maraming
for spending time with the committee.
Thank you po, Your Honor.
Thank you. Are there any other matters the members wish to discuss?
Chair,
The Honorable De Lima.
I wish to make a motion. Madam Chair,
Yes, the committee is ready to hear your motion.
I respectfully move for the issuance of subpoena ad testificandum and duces tecum to former Senator Antonio Trillanes IV, requiring him to appear at the next hearing on April 22, 2026, and produce documents relative to unexplained or ill-gotten wealth and non-disclosure of assets in the salens of the Vice President. May I briefly explain? On the matter of unexplained or ill-gotten wealth and non-disclosure of assets in the salens of the Vice President, the testimony and the documents from Senator Trillanes will be very relevant. Senator Trillanes was cited in the Sabali et al. Complaint in relation to the specific allegation on VP Duterte's assets, specifically in footnote number 98, about those money deposited in bank accounts under her name and those that she jointly owns with her father, her husband, or her siblings. In addition, we recall that Senator Trillanes appeared and testified before the House Quadcom committee hearings during the 19th Congress as to the bank accounts of the former president and his family, which includes the respondent Vice President Sara Duterte. I so move, Madam Chair.
There is a motion to issue subpoena to Senator Sonny Trillanes,
Ad testificandum.
including the production of documents. So this is ad testificandum and duces tecum. This is with regards to the allegation of unexplained wealth of the Vice President.
Second, Madam Chair.
The motion has been seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved. The committee is directed to issue the necessary subpoena ad testificandum to Senator Sonny Trillanes for him to appear on our next hearing on April 22, 2026 at 10 o'clock in the morning at the People's Center of the House of Representatives, as well as the issuance of subpoena duces tecum for the production of relevant documents to the allegations of unexplained wealth of the Vice President, likewise to be made available on the same schedule of the hearing.
Madam Chair.
The Honorable Sendanya.
Madam Chair, may I confirm if the committee is in receipt of a letter request from this representation?
I just received the letter, just now. You
Madam-
may want to manifest the content of your letter.
Yes, Madam Chair. The letter is a request to the committee that the Anti-Money Laundering Council be issued a subpoena duces tecum and ad testificandum, directing it to produce reports of covered transactions and suspicious transactions reported by any and all banks to the AMLC involving Sara Duterte Carpio and or Manasseh Carpio, covering the period from 2006 to 2025, and any and all investigation reports or related reports or documents prepared by the AMLC involving such reported covered transactions or suspicious transactions. And in the event that no such records exist, to certify the same. Additionally, I respectfully request that the respected documents be furnished to the Committee on Justice on or before the April 22, 2026 hearings to allow for prior review. I so move, Madam Chair.
Second.
There is a motion to issue subpoena ad testificandum to the Anti-Money Laundering Council to appear on our next hearing, that is April 22, 10 o'clock in the morning at the People's Center of the House of Representatives, as well as the issuance of subpoena duces tecum with respect to the AMLA reports of covered transactions and suspicious transactions reported by any and all banks involving Vice President Sara Duterte and or husband Manasseh Carpio, covering the period from 2006 to 2025, including all investigation reports or related reports or documents prepared by the AMLA involving such reported and suspicious, reported covered transactions or suspicious transactions. And in the event that no such records exist, a certification of the same. I heard that the same has been seconded by the
Chair.
Honorable De Lima. Honorable Jokno, you have a manifestation?
Yes, Madam Chair.
You may proceed.
Actually, on March 5, I had filed a letter request as well with the committee, which also made a substantially similar request for a subpoena to the Anti-Money Laundering Council. It's pretty much the same, except that, Madam Chair, in my request, I had also asked for any reported suspicious or covered transactions, not only involving Sara C. Duterte and Mans Carpio, but also those that may be with other persons or members of her family. Perhaps we could just merge the two requests so that isa na lang pong subpoena ang i-issue if the committee will approve.
May we know if the Honorable Sandanya is willing to amend the motion so as to include the other members of the family of the Vice President?
Yes, Madam Chair, and I'm amending the motion as stated.
For the benefit of the Justice members, kindly restate the motion. Either Honorable Sendanya or the Honorable Jokno, after all, you are joining this motion for issuance of subpoena to AMLA, including the production of the relevant documents.
Madam Chair, I move that the Anti-Money Laundering Council be issued a subpoena duces tecum and ad testificandum, directing it to produce reports, covert transactions, and suspicious transactions reported by any and all banks to the AMLC involving Sara Duterte Carpio and or Manasseh Carpio and other family members covering the period from 2006 to 2025, and any and all investigation reports or related reports or documents prepared by the AMLC involving such reported covert transactions or suspicious transactions, and in the event that no such records exist, to certify the same. Additionally, I respectfully request that the requested documents be furnished to the Committee on Justice on or before the 22nd of April to allow for prior review. I so move, Madam Chair.
There is an amended motion to issue subpoena ad testificandum to AMLC, as well as subpoena duces tecum for the production of report on covered transactions and suspicious transactions submitted by any and all banks pertaining to the Vice President, husband Manasseh Carpio, and the other family members.
Madam Chair,
The Honorable Acosta.
just a quick clarification on to the other members. Sino po yung included? Kasi parang hanggang saan degree? Yung mga kapatid lang po ba? Pinsan?
May we direct the Honorable Sendanya or Honorable Jokno to kindly be specific about the family members included in the subpoena.
The request, Madam Chair, is for any recovered or suspicious transactions which include Vice President Sara Duterte and or her with other members of her immediate family. So that would include the parents and the sibling, aside from the husband who's already mentioned, Mr. Manasseh Carpio.
We are temporarily suspending. The chair understands that the justice member are having concerns on the amended motion of the Honorable Sendanya and the Honorable Jokno. So we are giving the floor to them to state the final motion.
Madam
Are
Chair-
you withdrawing first the amended
Yes.
motion?
Madam Chair, to simplify matters, I am withdrawing my motion to amend the request of my
Let it be
colleague.
placed on record that the amended motion has been withdrawn. Now let's hear the final motion of the Honorable Sendanya and the Honorable Jokno.
For the guidance of the members of the Committee on Justice, I'm reverting to the original motion as stated in the letter request that was submitted to the committee yesterday. I respectfully request that the Anti-Money Laundering Council be issued a subpoena duces tecum and ad testificandum, directing it to produce reports of covert transactions and suspicious transactions reported by any and all banks to the AMLC involving Sara Duterte Carpio and or Manasseh Carpio, covering the period from 2006 to 2025, and any and all investigation reports or related reports or documents prepared by the AMLC involving such reported covert transactions or suspicious transactions, and in the event that no such record exists, to certify the same. Additionally, I respectfully request that the documents be furnished to the Committee on Justice on or before April 22, 2026 to allow for prior review. So move, Madam Chair.
There is a motion raised by the Honorable Sendanya, joined by the Honorable Jokno. Do I hear a second? The same has been seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is granted. The committee is directed to issue subpoena duces tecum and subpoena ad testificandum to the Anti-Money Laundering Council for their appearance on April 22, 10 o'clock in the morning at People's Center of the House of Representatives, as well as for the production of reports of covered transactions and suspicious transactions reported by any and all banks to the AMLC involving Sara Duterte Carpio and or Manasseh Carpio, covering the period from 2006 to 2025, and any and all investigation reports or related reports or documents prepared by the AMLC involving such reported covered transactions or suspicious transactions, and in the event that no such records exist, to certify the same. The committee is further directed to state in the subpoena the submission of these documents on or before April 22, 2026. If there are no other matters,
Madam Chair.
the Honorable Ko.
Madam Chair, just a final question, because in the past hearing, we requested the Ombudsman and we issued a subpoena for the production of their statements of assets and liabilities net worth. Has the same been received by the committee?
We haven't received the SALN from the Ombudsman, and the Chair is reminded to reiterate our invitation because a subpoena has been issued already. As a matter of fact, the Ombudsman was here earlier, except that there was a miscommunication that they will not be called today when we are supposed to receive the documents already. Nonetheless, for the record, we are inviting the Ombudsman, the BIR, the SEC, to attend our hearing on April 22, 10 o'clock in the morning at People's Center, and to submit the documents subject of their subpoena, should the same be still with them. Although I wish to state for the record that for some resource persons who were here this morning and were soon excused, they have submitted already their documents. But for Ombudsman, I know that they have not submitted the SALN.
Thank you.
Honorable Ko.
Thank you for the clarification, Chair. We'd just like to receive copies of the documents that have already been made available after the compliance of the subpoenas of various agencies. Thank you, Chair.
For purposes of clarity, we direct the committee secretariat to send invitation. Send invitation to OMB, BIR, and SEC so that they will be attending our hearing on April 22 at 10 o'clock in the morning. And for them also to submit the documents, subject matter of the prior subpoena. If there are no other matters, the justice members wish to raise.
Madam Chair, I move to adjourn.
Perhaps it should be a motion to suspend.
I withdraw that. I move to suspend the hearing.
There is a motion to suspend. The same has been seconded. The motion is granted. The hearing is hereby suspended.